Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're taking on a really specific mission. We are going to completely dismantle one of the most frequent and frankly most annoying domain B traps you're going to encounter on the BCBA exam. We're digging deep into the critical difference between reflexive and transitive condition motivating operations, or, as you probably call them, CMO-R and CMO-T. I am absolutely thrilled to break this down for you today because honestly, getting this right changes the entire game for how you look at behavior. So right off the bat, let's face a crucial reality. If you confuse these two, you will miss the function of the behavior every single time. Just let that really sink in for a second. We are raising the stakes right out of the gate here. This isn't just about memorizing a couple of random textbook acronyms so you can pass a test. No way. This is about fundamentally grasping exactly why a behavior is happening in the first place. If you mix these two concepts up, your whole analysis is literally flawed from step one. So our goal today is to make absolutely sure that doesn't happen. Section 1. CMO, the warning signal. To really get your head around this first concept, I want you to visualize a bright, loud, spinning red warning siren. Just keep that flashing red siren in your mind. A CMO-R, or Reflexive Conditioned Motivating Operation, acts exactly like that. It's a literal warning signal that precedes an aversive event. Imagine you're outside, you look up and you see these incredibly dark, heavy clouds rolling in, and you hear the deep rumble of thunder. Well, that thunder is your warning signal, right? It's preceding a highly aversive event, which is getting caught in a terrible freezing storm. In behavioral terms, the CMO-R is that antecedent condition. It sets the stage by loudly broadcasting to the environment, hey, heads up, something bad's about to happen. Now, let's watch how this actually builds in a classic step-by-step sequence. First, a warning buzzer sounds. Next, that buzzer specifically signals an impending shock or some other aversive event. Now, because of this historical pairing, the buzzer itself actually becomes an aversive condition. It's no longer just some neutral noise floating around the room. It has literally transformed into an active threat. So what logically happens in the final step? Well, the behavior is triggered to stop the buzzer. You don't just act to escape the shock itself, you act to terminate the warning signal entirely. Turning off that buzzer becomes incredibly reinforcing. The whole shebang's near is that your behavior is all about escaping that warning. Section 2, CMO-T, the missing tool. All right, now I want you to completely change your mindset. Ditch the siren and picture a solid, heavy, blue locked box sitting right in front of you. A CMO-T, or Transitive Conditioned Motivating Operation, operates purely on missing tool logic. This is a situation where a specific condition establishes a secondary item as a reinforcer. You see, that locked box sitting in front of you doesn't reinforce you for directly trying to pry it open with your bare hands. Instead, the very presence of that lock dynamically alters the value of something entirely different in your environment. It basically makes you need something else. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly how this dynamic plays out. Let's break it down. You've got this box that's locked tight, but you happen to know there's a delicious cookie inside. That lock immediately establishes a key as a highly valuable reinforcer. Think about the logic here for a second. Without that specific lock blocking your access to the cookie, a random key just sitting on a nearby table is totally worthless to you. You literally wouldn't look twice at it. But with the lock in place, suddenly, that key is absolute gold. The CMO-T is entirely about problem-solving access. You need the missing tool to get what you actually want. Section 3, the ultimate contrast. And this brilliantly illustrates the core difference you absolutely must burn into your memory. It's the ultimate head-to-head. Over on the left side, the reflexive CMO is entirely driven by escaping a warning. You are taking action to terminate the signal before the aversive event ever even happens. But on the right side, the transitive CMO is all about problem-solving access. You are taking action to gain a missing tool so you can unlock access to your ultimate reinforcer. It's escaping a warning versus problem-solving access. It's the flashing siren versus the golden key. Section 4, avoiding FCT fatal errors. So what does this all mean in the real world? Well, confusing a warning signal with a missing tool is an absolute fatal error in functional communication training design. Let's think about exactly why that is. If you misdiagnose a situation, say you mistakenly think a learner needs a tool to access something, but in reality, they're actually just trying to escape a warning signal, your entire clinical intervention is going to fail. You'll be teaching them the completely wrong communicative response because you fundamentally miss the true function of their behavior. You absolutely have to know whether you're dealing with a siren or a locked box in order to design an effective functional communication program. It's make or break. You have seen the sharp logic today, but here's the real question. Can you spot these traps when they're buried deep in complex, real-world scenarios? It's one thing to understand the theory when we map it out like this, but if you want to truly solidify this knowledge and prove you can tell the difference every single time, you've got to put it to the test. Head over and crush today's BMKM quiz block to unlock the full master explanation at bmeducation.com. Because, understanding the difference in theory is just step one, but applying it perfectly in a highly complex vignette, now that is the true test of your knowledge. So are you ready to unlock that master level of understanding?